Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today in this video I am going to start with the transportation in plants. Transportation in plants means what? The materials has to be transported from one part of the plant to the other parts of the plants. So in this we will study about the how transportation will takes place in plants. Transportation of materials will takes place in plants. Transportation, how it will takes place? It will have some vascular bundle. Plant consists of vascular bundle. This vascular bundle is consist of xylem and phloem. Vascular bundle present होता है plants में. We have studied about plant kingdom. We have studied, so the plant kingdom we have studied about thallophyta, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperm and angiosperm. So what we have seen in them, that from the pteridophyta the vascular bundle starts. Vascular bundle किस में पाया जाता है? We have seen from the pteridophyta. Thallophyta and bryophyta it is not present. So food, water, minerals ये सब क्या है, एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ट्रांसपोर्ट करने के लिए वैस्कुलर बंडल प्रेजेंट होते हैं. इन वैस्कुलर बंडल में क्या होता है? जाइलम होता है एंड फ्लोएम इज प्रेजेंट. दिस जाइलम will helps in the transportation of water, minerals, and this phloem will help in the transportation of food, minerals, hormones. तो एक्चुअली ट्रांसपोर्टेशन किस चीज़ का होगा? ट्रांसपोर्टेशन होगा वाटर का, मिनरल्स का, फूड, hormones. These are the four different things which needs transportation from one part of the plant to the other part of the plant. So the xylem will helps in the transportation of water and minerals, and this water will be absorbed in the roots, absorbed by the roots. Roots क्या करेगा? पानी को absorb करेगा. It will be absorbed and minerals, and it will be transported to all parts of the plant. और ये जो रूट जब वाटर को एब्जॉर्ब करेगा एंड द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन विल बी यूनिडायरेक्शनल. यूनिडायरेक्शनल का मतलब क्या होता है? इट विल बी इन वन डायरेक्शन. मीन्स व्हाट? अपवर्ड मूवमेंट, अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन. एंड दिस फ्लोएम it will help in the transportation of food, minerals, hormones. So ये food का क्या? Food will be prepared in the leaves by the process of photosynthesis, and this food will be transported to all parts of the plant. या तो growing part में ये जाएगा, it will go to the stem, roots. Food will be required by all parts of the plants, so it will be bidirectional, or we can say multidirectional. मल्टी होगा मीन्स इनका हर डायरेक्शन में मूवमेंट होगा. एंड इट ऑल्सो हेल्प्स इन द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ हॉर्मोन्स. व्हाट इज हॉर्मोन्स? इट इज़ अ केमिकल सब्सटेंस विच इज प्रिपेयर्ड इन द प्लांट्स, हेल्प्स फॉर ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट. सेल डिवीजन में हेल्प करेगा, ग्रोथ में, देन ripening of fruits, all the things. Suppose this is a stem and roots. If this is xylem, water will be absorbed here. Water will be transported from this, like upward movement will be there. Upward movement होगा, लेकिन food is prepared in the leaves. Leaves में food prepared होंगे. So this food will be transported. How it will be transported? From leaves to the roots, and bidirectional. This side and this side also movement will also takes place. I hope it is clear. Next, now we'll see the mode of transportation, short distance And long distance, what happens in short distance? Short distance means the movement will be from cell to cell. Cell to cell transportation will takes place. Long distance means it will through xylem and phloem transportation will takes place. Distance में क्या होगा? There will be a cell to cell transportation. Like this is a cell to cell transportation means the materials will be transported from one cell to this cell. इससे transportation होगा, from outside से transportation होगा. Like this, there will be an entry and exit of the from the cell. किन चीज़ों का transportation होगा? There will be a transportation of water, gases, minerals. So this transportation of ions or molecules, gases का transportation होगा. To understand the sum of the transport process that takes place in plants, so to understand the transportation, we need to understand the basic thing about how the cell to cell transportation will takes place. So we have studied about in the cell diffusion के बारे में हमने पढ़ा है. So for the short distance transportation, what kind of transportation will takes place? There are the 4 different types of transportation which will takes place in the short distance. 4 types of short distance transportation will takes place. What are they? They are, first one is diffusion, second one is facilitated diffusion, third one is active transport, and fourth one is cytoplasmic streaming. So I'll discuss one by one all the types of transportation. So first I'll start with the diffusion. Why we are studying about all this diffusion and short distance, facilitated diffusion, active transportation? Why we are studying about this? See, we are studying because the transportation will takes place, cell to cell transportation will takes place. So ऐसा नहीं है कि this type of transportation will takes place only in plants. This kind of transportation will takes place in animals. Animals में भी होता है. We have studied about diffusion and facilitated diffusion in cell में भी पढ़ा है. Animals में भी होते हैं. In all kind of organisms, this kind of transportation will takes place. This is common for all living organism. ये short distance है. And what is diffusion? Diffusion का explanation क्या है? एक और one more thing before starting the diffusion, I'll explain. See, this is the short distance transportation. What is second one is long distance transportation. Long distance transportation means that mostly in the flowering plants, the substance that would need to be transported, that is water, minerals, nutrients, organic nutrients, and plant growth regulators or hormones. So for this long distance, it needs vascular system. That is xylem and phloem, and that transportation for longer distance is called translocation. लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस जब ट्रैवल करके ट्रांसपोर्ट करते हैं मटेरियल्स को तो उसे ट्रांसलोकेशन बोलते हैं. तो किन किन चीज़ों का होगा ट्रांसपोर्टेशन? वाटर का होगा, आयंस का, ऑर्गेनिक न्यूट्रिएंट्स एंड प्लांट्स, हार्मोन्स. एंड दिस वैस्कुलर सिस्टम कंसिस्ट ऑफ जाइलम एंड फ्लोएम. जाइलम और फ्लोएम क्या करेंगे? लॉन्गर डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल करेंगे, ट्रांसपोर्ट करेंगे. So now I'll start with the diffusion. So this is the shorter distance travel करेंगे. शॉर्ट डिस्टेंस होगा, सेल टू सेल होगा डिफ्यूजन. देर आर द अदर मेथड्स ऑल्सो. डिफ्यूजन क्यों हो रहा है प्लांट्स में? सी व्हेन द वाटर इज एब्जॉर्ब्ड बाय द रूट्स, सो वहाँ वैस्कुलर जाइलम तक पहुँचने के लिए द वाटर हैज़ टू बी मूव, एंड फॉर कुछ टाइम के लिए उन्हें शॉर्ट डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल करना होता है रूट से जाइलम तक पहुँचने के लिए. एंड उस डिस्टेंस को ट्रैवल कैसे किया जाता है? बाय द डिफ्यूजन, ऑस्मोसिस. these are the process through which the materials will be transported. So first we'll see what is diffusion. See the definition of diffusion. Diffusion is random movement of molecules. It may be like gases and water from higher concentration to lower concentration. Random movement, if molecules का movement, how it will be from higher, if here is higher concentration, so it will move to the lower concentration. हाई से इसका मूवमेंट लो की तरफ होगा, जहाँ पे कंसंट्रेशन लोअर होगा उधर की तरफ इसका मूवमेंट होगा. इट मे बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ गैसेस और इन द लिक्विड. सो डिफ्यूजन is the random movement of molecules, that is gases of water, from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So it is diffusion क्या है? passive है. For the process of diffusion no energy is not required. And this diffusion ऐसा नहीं है कि it will takes place only in the living things. We can see diffusion का example अगर हम लेते हैं कि कहीं पे if we spray the perfume spray किया and this perfume will be spread, and ऐसा नहीं कि वो perfume एक जगह पे ही रहेगा. It will be spread in the air. आसपास atmosphere में भी we can smell the perfume. So why we can smell? Because of the diffusion. This will diffuse in the air, and this diffusion is important in plants. Because of this diffusion only the gaseous exchange will takes place. Like जैसे कि plants need carbon dioxide, and after the plants need gases for photosynthesis. प्लांट्स कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड चाहिए प्लांट को फोटोसिंथेसिस करने के लिए. सो इट विल टेक्स प्लेस थ्रू डिफ्यूजन, एंड बाई प्रोडक्ट ऑक्सीजन विल बी प्रोड्यूस्ड. ऑक्सीजन प्रोड्यूस होगा एंड इट विल मूव आउट ऑफ द प्लांट थ्रू डिफ्यूजन. सो नेक्स्ट विल सी what are the factors affecting this diffusion. The first will be the concentration gradient. Concentration gradient क्या हुआ? Means it will move from higher to lower. Move higher to lower means there will be a difference. जहाँ पे differences होंगे वहीं पे travel करेगा difference. Second thing is it will depend on temperature. टेम्परेचर पे कैसे डिपेंड करेगा? व्हेन वी आर हीटिंग the rate of diffusion will increase. When the temperature will increase, the rate of diffusion will be increased. And the third point will be the size of the molecules. when the size of molecule will be small, it will diffuse faster. Fourth will be pressure. When the pressure will be high, the rate of diffusion will be high. And medium. Medium may be liquid, gaseous. It depends on that. So these are the factors on which the diffusion will affect. Next, we will see facilitated diffusion. Yes, one more thing in this, this diffusion will take place in the cell. So through this will take place through the cell membrane. Cell membrane के through diffusion होगा. Cell membrane is made up of phospholipids. So in this, the diffusion of gases and water will take place. Facilitated diffusion. What is that? In this also, it is a different type of diffusion, facilitated. So for this, different channels will be provided through which the transportation of materials will takes place. Like the membrane is made up of phospholipids. So some materials, it is made up of phospholipids. This is a cell membrane. ये एक सेल मेम्ब्रेन है. इसमें ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ मटेरियल्स लाइक गैसेस का मूवमेंट इट विल बी टेक्स प्लेस. गैसेस, वाटर का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन होगा मेम्ब्रेन के थ्रू. बट फ्यू सब्सटेंसेस आर देयर लाइक वाटर सॉल्युबल आयंस materials are there which cannot pass through the membrane, through this membrane. So it needs some another channel to enter into the cell. So these channels is made up of protein, and this through which the transportation will takes place, this is called facilitated diffusion. इसमें गैसेस का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन होगा, वाटर का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन होगा सिंपल डिफ्यूजन के थ्रू, लिपिड मॉलिक्यूल्स का भी डिफ्यूजन होगा. बट कुछ ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं which get dissolved into the water, and these are the some ions which cannot enter directly through simple diffusion into the cell. And so for to enter into the cell, it need some channels through which these things can pass, and this is called facilitated diffusion. Like across the membrane for water soluble substances like sodium, glucose, potassium, these are made up of proteins. Channels, sodium, potassium, ग्लूकोज. इसमें भी क्या होगा, फैसिलिटेटेड डिफ्यूजन में द सेम लाइक डिफ्यूजन, द मूवमेंट ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स विल बी टेक्स प्लेस थ्रू फ्रॉम हायर कंसंट्रेशन टू द लोअर कंसंट्रेशन. दिस मेम्ब्रेन विल हैव चैनल थ्रू विच molecules pass which cannot pass through simple diffusion. It will move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Means move along with the concentration gradient. This is also a passive transportation. What is passive transportation? Means it will in this transportation it will move from higher concentration to the lower concentration, but energy is not required in it. Which molecules will pass through this facilitated diffusion? That is sodium, potassium, glucose will pass through this facilitated diffusion. See, now we'll see the transport rate reaches a maximum when all the protein transporters are being used saturation. See what happens. See, if इसमें क्या होगा, saturation. What is saturation? Saturation means when here if sodium molecule is higher outside, so what it will do, it will move inside into the cell. it will start moving. If more sodium will be present outside, so this channel will also help in the transportation of sodium molecules, and this will also start transporting sodium. What will happen, अगर सोडियम का concentration outside the membrane will be high, so if all the channels will transport the sodium into the inside the cell, so that point is called saturation. अगर सोडियम का अमाउंट ज़्यादा हो गया बाहर की मेम्ब्रेन आउटसाइड, कंसनट्रेशन विल बी हाई एंड स्टार्ट इफ़ ऑल द चैनल्स आर ट्रांसपोर्टिंग सोडियम, तो क्या होगा, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड सैचुरेशन. मैक्सिमम जब पहुंच जाए रेट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड saturation. Here I'll write the transport rate reaches a maximum when all of the protein transporters are being used. Now next is facilitated diffusion is very specific. It allows cell to cell substances to uptake. It is sensitive to inhibitors when react with the protein side channels. Inhibition. What is inhibition? Inhibition is due to the change in the shape of channel. This is a channel. इस चैनल्स में, इस चैनल के शेप में अगर चेंजेस हो जाए एंड इट अफेक्ट्स द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड इनहिबिशन. हाउ दिस चैनल विल, द शेप इसका चेंज कैसे हो जाएगा, बिकॉज ड्यू टू दिस प्रोटीन चैनल इज मेड अप ऑफ, this channel is made up of protein, and this due to the binding of some chemical, the shape of the channel, ये चैनल का जो शेप है वो बिगड़ जाता है, ख़राब हो जाएगा, जिसकी वजह से इफ़ेक्ट होगा ट्रांसपोर्टेशन. दिस इज़ कॉल्ड इनहिबिशन. which react with protein side chains. The proteins forms channels in the membrane for molecules to pass through. Some channels are always open, others can be controlled. Some channels क्या होंगे, वो open होंगे, and some channels are controlled. Some are large, allows a variety of molecules to cross, and these are called porins. Porins क्या होंगे, ये एक kind का pores होगा which is present on the membrane, and this pores will allow to these porins are actually made up of proteins. सेल की मेम्ब्रेन पे पोर्स प्रेजेंट होंगे, लार्ज पोर्स विल बी प्रेजेंट, and it will allow a variety of molecules to cross. It is present on the outer membrane. This is the outer membrane, and it is present large pores. It is called porins, and it is made up of proteins. ये किस चीज़ों को allow करेगा, pass करेगा? It will allow sodium, potassium, glucose, and some small proteins. Where it will form? It will present in the plastids, mitochondria, and some bacteria. ये porins कहाँ present होंगे? It will be present in the bacteria, plastids, and mitochondria. Now we will see what is uniport, antiport, and symport. Uniport, antiport, and symport. This is plasma membrane, phospholipids, and these are the channels, protein channels. So uniport, uni means one direction. Uni का मतलब क्या होता है? It will move in one direction. movement of molecule in one direction. Symport means uniport में what will happen? One molecule will move into one direction. Antiport means two molecules move in the opposite direction. Anti का मतलब क्या होता है? It will move in a opposite direction. Opposite direction. Symport, two types of molecules move in same direction. Two types of molecules will move in same direction. So uniport, antiport, symport. Uniport is movement of molecules in one direction. When one molecule move in one direction is called uniport. Antiport means movement of two molecules, two types of molecules in different directions. Symport, two types of molecules will move on the same direction. So we have completed facilitated diffusion. In the next video, I will start with the active transportation and plant water relation. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.